Hello YouTube, let's talk about some fragrances. Today we have a sample of Dusita Le Pavillion Dior. Let's see if I can get that to focus on there. Anyway, it comes in these cool little boxes. The Dusita samples are fantastic. Beautiful little samplers and beautiful sprayers. Already got something on, so I'm not going to spray it on skin. I've worn it before, though. I got these when I got my Oud Infini bottle. So what are the notes here? I don't know. But it smells like oak. So the representation of oak molecules is pretty good. So we've got oak, iris, mint, and fig. I wrote those down. I remember that. There's got to be some vetiver underneath here in the base, because there's a clear base on the bottom with just a little bit of sparkle and effervescence. I assume that's some sort of aroma chemicals in there. It's actually Hedwin. I think is how you say it. And that was one that I wasn't able to place right away. I remember when I wore this, there's something in the heart that you can feel more than smell. And I tried a couple of, it's Hedwin. But really you get a really nice blend. So you take that oak, which in and of itself, a lot of times oak doesn't smell very good. It can be a facet in something that you use, but the oak smell front and forward is something you don't really get too much of very often. But it's expertly done here. So she takes it, and it's interesting because when you take that and you smell that and you go, it just doesn't really smell very good. And then you add the iris to it, and it's not an iris fragrance, but it's, you know how iris is used in a lot of female fragrances as a way of sort of powdering up things. If you take the oak and its dry, austere nature, and you add an undercurrent of iris underneath that, it fills up some of the gaps in where the molecules of the oak live, kind of. So if it was an oak leaf, it would be, or like, you know, a leaf with like this, it would be sanding off the edges to make it more of a full presentation. So then the mint and the fig. So the mint is used here. You know, you think mint toothpaste and all kinds of stuff like that. But mint can also be used as an enhancing agent on a green aspect. And here's where it does that. It's almost like, so pine needles have almost like a minty with with an astringent, and they go together. This almost takes that. It's almost like a type of pine you've never smelled because of the addition of the mint. So that spikes this side of it over here with the oak and the iris and the mint. But then the fig. The fig is a really interesting note in a lot of perfumery. And this one, it's not front and center. It's not like Fig Man or anything like that. Here, these are all well balanced. Everything of these is well balanced all together to make one seamless. And that's what I get here, is these ones are also well blended, that it makes one accord of the iris, the oak, the mint, and the fig. If I had to list them in order, I would say the fig is dropped down a little bit. It would probably be oak first and foremost. Utterly unisex. Just an interesting scent. I'm not sure if I just like this one because I'm a fragrance guy, a fragrance aficionado, if that's why I like it. And I'm not sure if it's pleasing to smell. I don't know. I do know that it's very interesting and it's not stinky. But I wonder what this kind of reaction would get from people who don't wear a lot of fragrances, what they would think about this. Or if this would just be too complicated for their noses and they just wouldn't know what to think. They just know that they smell something. Yeah. I don't have any strong conclusions there beyond it's super interesting. And I don't really want to spray it on right now. Because that's another thing. I felt like that this one, it does change. And I feel like the oak, you'd think that oak would be one of the deeper bases. But I feel like the oak kind of burns off a little bit. And which is good because I would consider it the most prominent note. And when it recedes, I feel like it melds everything together. So even in the heart, it's balanced, which is really nice. It's a really nicely done fragrance. Le Pavillion Dior.